Welcome to Twin City Talk. Today we're talking with Brooke Eagle from Forsyth Magazines and Washington Park CrossFit. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I love your magazine, not just because I write for it, but, you guys have a lot of great information. There's actually three different publications?
Yeah, we have Forsyth Woman and Forsyth Family, which are obviously both here in Forsyth County. And then we have LKN Magazine that's in the Lake Norman area that my mom, Keela, started 2-ish years ago.
Very cool.
So,
I love how you guys were sharing the story about how your mom started this magazine and then you started really young with her, and it's just grown into this great mother-daughter team.
yeah, we celebrate 20 years in 2025.
That's cool.
So,
Impressive.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very cool. I didn't know
Thank you.
that. I didn't realize it went back that far.
Yeah,
What
she's...
do you have planned for the big anniversary?
I need to get on that. I'm getting married in May.
Congrats.
And so, thank you. And so I'm like, okay, let's do and then we have the women's conference in March. So I'm like, okay, women's conference, wedding, 20th anniversary party. So I'm trying to navigate how to plan all three at once without going crazy.
What led you to start the gym? That's separate.
Yeah, the gym. So Washington Park CrossFit, my fiance has been a CrossFit coach for a long time, and we moved to the Washington Park neighborhood in 2021 and just instantly fell in love with the neighborhood. We're walking our dogs around and saw this vacant building very close to our house, and we're like, oh, this would be a really cool gym. And the rest is history. We kind of always been a dream of Gavin's, my fiance, to have a gym. And then for me, my marketing passion, every gym I've ever been to, I've loved, but I've always been I would really like to do this myself, do the marketing and do it how I would want to do it. So it's been really fun to kind of put my marketing spin on it. And then he's so great at coaching. And we have a third partner, Scott, who's great at all the things that Gavin and I are not. So we have a good team.
It's good. Have all the different things covered.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you from Winston originally?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, born and raised in Winston. Went to West Forsyth High School. And, yeah. Where'd you go to school?
Reynolds.
My mom went to Reynolds.
Oh, well, all right. Saving grace.
Good school.
What do you love about it here?
I love the small town feel without being a teeny tiny town. I love all the local businesses. I love all the collaboration that you see constantly between businesses. I love it here. And I love the weather. I can't but by the time you get really sick of one season, it changes.
I think the same thing all the time. It's perfect that way.
Yeah, it really is. So, yeah.
Do you see a sort of different side of Winston since you run a magazine about the area? What do you think?
I mean, it's definitely changed a lot over for the better in the last, 20 plus years. But I remember when I was in high school, downtown was not necessarily a place that you wanted to be. And now it's the place to be. So it's been fun to watch different areas of town and Washington Park. I think that area is a very up and coming area. And is very different from even when we moved there, 3 or 4 years ago.
They have a cool playground, the dinosaur playground.
They do. The dinosaur playground is awesome. Yeah.
I love seeing what's happened with Washington Park. I've always loved it. I used to, when I was in high school, I'd get on my motorcycle and ride all over the city. And I'd always find myself ending up, Old Salem, Washington Park, and just love the area. And it was always a little sad to me how, dilapidated it had gotten. And same with West End.
Yeah.
And then West End started turning around and getting, it's now, close to its former glory. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I love it. But then I started seeing Washington Park come back too, and it's just so great to see that love of the area. And
Yes.
the restoration of these beautiful homes.
I could not agree more. It's the couple that renovated the house that we live in. Our house is 100 and almost 110 years old, but they completely gutted it, renovated it, so it's a new house, but it still has all the old character. and it's just beautiful. I love the whole neighborhood. I love looking at all the houses, but it has gotten so much better. I've told people this story before, but when I first bought this house and went to show it to my parents and to Gavin's parents, there was a heroin needle in the in the yard, and my parents were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" But it has made a 180 from. So it was like when I bought was a great time because it's still a little questionable of an area, but it's way better now. It's a great spot to be.
And only going to continue.
Exactly. Yeah. The home values are only going up.
Yeah, hopefully that will take off on all the other parts of Winston.
West Salem is taking off. And Weston, like you said, Weston has always been my dream to live there. So Washington, I'm like, next door. I love Weston.
They're very similar.
Yeah.
They feel very similar.
Yeah.
Then you have West Salem not far from you.
Yeah, West Salem's great.
Yeah.
East of Texas, love going there. Yeah, I love all the cute little neighborhoods.
Brewery beer company is my favorite brewery in town.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something about the vibe, and the beer is always good, and it's so small batch that they don't, you don't have room to really mess anything up, right?
Yeah, it's more like intimate.
Yeah, it's the neighborhood brewery or neighborhood.
That's right.
Brew pub, basically.
Yeah.
It's a cool spot.
So what do you love working on the magazine? Like, what are some of your favorite aspects of that?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. It's a hard question. I really love it all. I love the design process. Like, I love working with our graphic designer to make sure that the magazine looks the way that I want. I love going to photo shoots for our cover. That's probably one of my all-time favorite parts. I love doing the podcast, obviously. And I mostly love that it's just something different every day. If you look at my calendar, every day is extremely different. Doesn't get monotonous at all. So I think that's probably what I love most about it.
What's the most challenging?
In the same vein, that's also the most challenging sometimes. The deadlines are probably the most challenging. And it's like, if everyone was like Suzy with getting their stuff in on time, my life would be so much easier. But that's just not how the world works. There's advertisers that have changes to things. And, when a magazine is published monthly, it just rolls around quick. And I mean, I get it. I'm a business owner too. You're busy. So it's, feels like herding cats sometimes, but it's good.
Yeah, so Brooke is why we're on this podcast today, because I came on your podcast and you
Yes.
connected me back to Tim, and here we are.
Yeah. Full circle. Yeah.
And in that, I was talking to Deetra Miller from Greater Winston-Salem Inc., or as I call it, G Wizzy. And she's how I met you.
Yes.
And so
Deetra, one of my favorite people of all time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just love the connectivity. I mean, that's just proving the connectivity of this town, the
Oh, yeah.
power of this town. And
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah. I remember coming on Tim's podcast with Deetra, and I was like terrified. I was so scared. I don't know why. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done this before.
As she was leaving, I said, the Forsyth Magazines need a podcast. The next day, I got a call or an email or a text. I think it was a call. I think I really want to look into this.
As my mom says, I don't let any grass grow.
I was going to say, dragging your feet there, were you? Jeez.
Yeah.
Very decisive person over here.
And now 220 came out, or 219 came out. Yesterday.
Yeah, that is hard to
Or
believe.
218. We went up
crazy.
to 221.
Yeah.
When did it actually start?
We recorded the first episodes in the end of 2019, right?
So
The first release was January 2020. So we this week have celebrated our anniversary.
Yay.
Our
5th
5-year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
So special.
That's impressive.
I
though.
know. It really is. And it's funny. I was just thinking on the way over here, I was like, I remember always saying when we first started this podcast that podcasting is in its infancy stages or whatever, but I feel like now it's not. Like, it's really just like grown insanely since 2020.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the pandemic might have had to.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Encouraged a lot of that growth.
Yeah.
People
I
looking
remember
for-
we recorded some during the pandemic. Like, we obviously had to take some breaks, but that was like a tricky time. We had our little acrylic dividers, and people were like, okay, well, you can't wear a mask because we can't hear you on the
mic. Sucks when you're trying to do a podcast. So.
Yeah, that was tough times. I'm glad that's over.
Yes, definitely. So are there any people, your goal people to come onto your podcast, like that you're thinking about?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, it's always people that are associated with or advertisers or nonprofit, different people that are writing for the magazine, things like that. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It would be cool to get some just super well-known people. Getting Adam Andrews to come on was very exciting.
He's coming on, recording next month with
Oh,
us.
good.
Yeah.
Well, props to you, because it took us like 2 years to get him to come on the podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
He's a busy guy.
He is a very busy guy.
It actually took me prodding him to answer Amy.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, you gotta like text him and then call him, text him again. Like, okay, please, pretty please.
I was having brunch at Young Cardinal with with Amy. Adam walked by. Amy has this professional crush on him, and I said, Adam, come over here. And she's like, are you serious? I said, oh yeah. and she said, for Forsyth Magazines, he said, well, you know what? Hit me up and I'll do it. And that's when it happened.
That's funny. I think he just needed like to come on and see what it was like. Like, it's people are scared of it, but it's not.
Well, he's been on mine twice.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to make myself feel better, Tim.
No. But it has been a while that I know of.
Yeah.
But he hadn't been on one like that when we were just sitting around drinking and eating and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, he has opened up a few restaurants since then. He's
a
a little busy. Yeah. We'll give him an excuse.
I've heard that new place is good. And
I know. I need to try it. I never go out that way, but
I don't either.
I stay in my little 1 mile radius. I need to get out more.
Yeah.
Luckily, the studio is about within a 1 mile radius.
We just made it.
Yeah,
right
barely.
As the crow flies, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So are there any things coming up with the magazine you want to share about? Besides the big anniversary?
The big anniversary, obviously, which stay tuned for more details on that. But we have our 4th annual Women on the Move conference coming up in March 20th. And it is at a different venue this year. It's at Legacy Stables and Events. It's historically always been at Winmock. And we loved Winmock. Beautiful, great venue, but we just have outgrown it. Which is a good problem to have. So tickets are on sale. They're already going fast. Our vendor spots actually just got full today. So we're not taking any more vendors. Our sponsorships have been full. This event always amazes me how quickly the tickets go, the sponsorships go. Like, people just get really excited about this event every year. It was kind of needed in our community, I think. So it's going to be a fun day. Yeah.
Legacy is really pretty, though. It's a great space.
We had our Christmas party, girls' night out event there a couple months ago. And I've been to weddings there. I've been to nonprofit events there. And they're just amazing to work with. So I'm excited to have the conference there. It'll be good.
Who's speaking at this one?
It's kind of funny. We have 4 speakers every year. Or it's changed, but this year we have 4, and then we have a panel. Our 4 speakers, we have 2 Amy's and 2 Brittany's. I'm like, how did this happen? But it was just, they were the perfect fit, all 4 of them. And the panelists, I'm going to botch who's the panelist because I can't remember. But there's a social media marketing expert, a real estate expert, a Amber Woodall, the owner of Alkali Hair Studios. She'll be on our panel. And of course, I can't remember the last one, but it's going to be good. And our theme is Ignite. So we're encouraging people to wear lots of red and gold. And we're going to have flames, but classy flames for the decor.
Classy flames.
Classy flames.
Coined a new term.
I did,
No one
yeah.
has ever said classy flames before.
I met with a House of Posh. They're like a decor company, and they're going to do an incredible stage setup to make our stage really cool. And they are doing, I don't want to give everything away, but they're doing this other photo op that is that you'll stand in front of to take pictures, but it's like going to look like these huge wings, but they're red and gold. So we're going all out. I'm super excited. This is like if I didn't publish a magazine and I didn't run a gym, I would be an event planner. I love planning events.
It is fun.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do. Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
Stressful, but fun.
Yeah, I used to work at a place and we did a leadership conference in Italy, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's so cool! You're going to Italy. Like, what'd you see?" I'm like, "I was working. Like, I don't think you understand what event planning is, but it's working the whole time."
Yeah, there was no fun to be had.
I got to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa right before my flight. That was about the extent of my.
Well, that's a bummer. You have to go back for just a vacation.
It was nice though. It's a nice setting for an event.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's fun though. But it sounds like you're sort of living your passion, so that's good.
I think that's true. I'm happy to say that.
It's not work when you actually enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, I know. My fiance gives me a hard time. He's like, "Your hobby is work." And I'm like, "Yeah, I really do love working. Like, I'm up on my computer doing my emails, like doing social media we have somebody do our social media for the magazine, Michelle, who's incredible, and I would die without her help. But I do the social media for the gym, so it's like I get to do a little bit of everything.
Does Gavin do anything besides helping you with the gym? Like, what's he doing?
The gym is his full-time gig, so he coaches the bulk of our classes. Because I coach a little bit, but I prefer to be behind the scenes or to be working out.
You guys got engaged at the gym too.
We
did. I saw those videos
Yeah, we had our second anniversary party, and he proposed at the party. It was cute. He pretended like he was taking a group photo of like our whole gym, and it was a video. And he came and got down on one knee. It was very cute.
Were you like really surprised?
I was surprised. I was like, this would be really sweet if he proposed at our party, because I knew it was coming like soonish. But after we did like superlatives or like awards, and once that had passed, I was positive that it was not happening that day, and I was like, oh well, that ship has sailed. And so I was genuinely very surprised when it happened.
Well, how can people find out about both the magazine and the gym?
Yeah, so we are on social media, of course. Forsyth Mags, at Forsyth Mags on Instagram and on Facebook. And the gym you can find at Washington Park CrossFit on Instagram. We're very active on Instagram. We are not active on Facebook, so don't look at us on there. And also for the magazine, you can always pick up a copy. We print once a month, Forsyth Woman and Forsyth Family. You can pick them up at your local Harris Teeter, your local Lowe's Foods, most of your Chick-fil-A's, lots of local restaurants, local salons, boutiques. We have like a full list of our distribution points on our website, and it is free to pick up. Yes, free content, and it's on racks. Like, it doesn't get mailed to your home, because people get so much mail, you don't know what people are actually gonna do with that mail. So we say, if people choose to pick up a magazine, they're gonna at least flip through it, so they're looking at it.
Well, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and for connecting me to Tim to make all of this
Of course. I love me some Tim. He's the best.
Thank you for that.
Well, thank you everyone for listening in. This is Twin City Talk. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook. The views and opinions portrayed by guests on this podcast are not necessarily those of the distributors and hosting companies. And if you love this podcast, that's great, but don't think about stealing it. Reach out to us and talk about the content, because it is copyrighted.